CyberCast Thursday. It is September 29th, and today we're talking about the S7s are still exploding. Journalists got charged $200 for Wi-Fi at the presidential debate. Pepe the Frog, the meme, was added to the hate crime list. Spotify had just launched in Japan. Uber plane transportation. Snapchat, Fruit Ninja became a movie. Battlefield 1 and Watch Dogs 2.
Yeah, so the first article, I think 2 weeks ago, we covered the Note 7s exploding due to their battery. And this article here is basically saying that there was a report of a Note 7 exploding in China. And basically how that works is the Note 7s in China are manufactured differently. They use a different battery, so they never had the problem that the ones in like the US and other places did. But now there is like two reports that they're exploding in China.
I think that's, honestly, even if they're manufactured differently, they should still be checking over them extensively after the ones in America exploded. I think it was America and maybe Europe, I don't know, but
Yeah.
you would think they'd look over that after they took such a huge hit from this happening in America.
Yeah. Now, the thing is, it's not confirmed. There was a 25-year-old who bought the Note 7, and then over the weekend it had exploded, hurt his fingers, and maybe like one of his MacBook Pros, I think. But when like a representative from Galaxy or from Samsung came to like review the phone and make sure that that was like the cause of what happened, he refused to give up the phone. So I don't really. I mean, it's kind of just speculation. I'm sure it's just a coincidence or something very rare, happened to it. I don't think that it's the batteries, but if it was, that'd be a huge blow to Samsung.
I don't understand. If a phone actually exploded and burnt your fingers in a MacBook Pro, you would think you'd give it to them to review to make sure it doesn't happen to anyone else.
Well, that's what I'm thinking.
I don't know.
Like, he would get maybe like insurance money or something for that, but my guess is that he probably did something to it or it got too hot or something like that, and that's what caused it, and
Even
that's
if
why he's afraid to give it up.
Even if it got too hot from overuse, there should still be something on the phone where it would stop you from it getting that hot.
Right, but if he had like put it on the stove or some shit, I don't. No one really knows, but it's just kind of interesting that that happened so close to the Note 7s in the U.S. blown up. So.
hmm I mean, if it was really that much of an issue in China, they would have exploded at launch, closer to launch at least. Then it's been
Yeah.
about a month.
Yeah, well, and it says here that since they've been doing the recalls, they have recovered 60% of the devices in the US and South Korea, and in Europe, they have recalled 57%. So they've gotten a good portion of them, off the streets, whatever, they're not out in the public, but yeah, I think that's about it.
The next story has to do with the presidential debate, not necessarily about the candidates, but whoever was hosting the debate.
Yeah, I think it was
Hofstra.
Hofstra
Yeah, I don't know how to
University.
pronounce that. They were charging journalists. It was $200 per person for Wi-Fi, and then
And that's only for Wi-Fi.
yeah, and then if you wanted Ethernet for faster recording or getting it out there quicker.
A phone line with either.
Yeah, Ethernet and a phone line was $600, and then access for 20 devices, like if you had a whole team of reporters or whatever, that'll run you $3,500. And then some people were putting out Wi-Fi hotspots around there, so they didn't, as a loophole around that. But they actually had a device they were walking around with that would shut down the Wi-Fi hotspots.
Yeah. Now, I can see how they're gonna want people to pay money for their Wi-Fi. That's whatever. $200, kind of extreme. But if people have their own hotspot, I would say, well, whatever. That's let them do that. The fact that they're shutting them down and making them pay for them, there's got to be something there that's against the law, because that's your own hotspot that you've paid for, that you own.
But it is on their property.
Yeah, but it's like just because you're on their property doesn't mean that like your phone and your wallet are now theirs just because it's on your property. Just like your hotspot. If you're running it straight, like if it's wireless, I would treat that the same as like someone's cell phone or anything that they would own. I don't think that they'd have a right to interfere with that.
Hmm.
But and then
Yeah, to make it even a shittier situation.
yeah.
The Wi-Fi in the middle of the debate. This is from a reporter from Wired. He tweeted out that it had actually went down in the middle of the debate. The Wi-Fi that they had paid $200 for, that was just a personal one or whatever. Yeah. Like, if you're going to pay $200 for Wi-Fi, you have to expect it to be at least decent
working.
Wi-Fi. Yeah.
like even if it's slow or something, that's whatever. That's just shitty like business or whatever. But at least have a freaking connection. Like like it doesn't make sense that accidents happen and all that, but $200 for Wi-Fi that breaks during the middle of the debate. Yeah, I don't see that.
I just think it's overall shady business, and it's definitely not going to look good for this
Yeah.
university.
Yeah, cnet.com, where we get all of our articles, they try to contact Hoster University, and they didn't respond. Like, maybe you could explain your thoughts on that, or why you did that.
I mean, it just makes it seem more shady.
Yeah, I don't think that they were in the right to do that, but...
The right to not respond, or the right to...
The right to charge people $200 for Wi-Fi. That's like... like a monopoly. Like, medical companies that own like the rights to a certain med, they can't just like jack up the prices to like $2 million a bottle or something. Like,
I mean,
there are laws against that.
Oh, there is.
Well, yeah, there's laws preventing companies from doing that. I'm like 99% sure. But there's still like loopholes, and they can still raise the prices pretty high for that kind of stuff. But I feel like this is kind of under the same category. It'd be okay if they were just charging $200 for the Wi-Fi. But if they're forcing other people's hotspots to shut off, like if that's completely different. Yeah. The next story is about Pepe the Frog meme. A lot of you probably know that. They have added that to the database of hate symbols. The ADL, the Anti-Defamation League. They basically run everything about hate.
They basically did this because there's been memes up with Pepe in them, like maybe with a KKK hood on, or a Hitler mustache, or a swastika or something. But that you can't blame that on the character.
Yeah.
When it's the creators making these pictures.
I mean, yeah, it's just that's like saying that if you put Obama's face next to like the KKK and you make him some like meme, or you do something like that, that's like saying, oh, you got to add Obama to the hate crime list. I mean, I'm sure there's more incidents with Pepe the Frog, with people misusing it and altering it, but still, I don't think it's gotten to the point where it needs to be on the hate list.
The fact that they named it like propaganda for white supremacy is absolutely ridiculous. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just going to really revive it more than anything. Kind of like Harambe when they had the Cincinnati Zoo was saying they didn't appreciate the Harambe memes, and then they just blew up like bigger than they were before even.
Yeah. I don't know. There's a meme experts, meme spurts. They ain't gonna be too happy, but I think that's kind of funny. It's just it's gonna backfire on them because I'm not entirely sure like what legally they can really do if people are using it. I mean, I guess it's the same as any other hate terms.
I mean, maybe it like just can't be posted like
but they
on
can't
a poster out in public. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe, but I don't know. But see, the thing is, Pepe the Frog, started out as like a really happy character, and then people altered it to the sad frog, the sad Pepe. So I'm not entirely sure if it's only banning the sad frog. No, they're banning both of them. Okay.
Well, the sad frog is just a different name for Pepe.
Yeah, but there's also like versions of the Pepe that are like happy, sad, you know. So I guess all of those are banned.
Okay, the next story is about Spotify, which has been in the US for quite a while. It actually just got released in Japan today.
Yeah.
They've had a headquarters there for over a year, but it just got released today. In Japan, 80% of people there still buy their music on CD.
Really?
You would think they'd be ahead of that, because technologically they're pretty far ahead of some of the other countries.
Yeah. It says that the music industry in Japan is worth $2.6 billion. So that's a bit more than half of what we have in the US.
Yeah.
But that's like a pretty big portion that like Spotify had been missing out. But I don't. They say that they've been making deals with the Japanese, like trying to get records and stuff for the app, for the past like year, and they have 40 million songs so far. So I mean, I don't see. It's hard to get their foot in the door, I'm gonna guess, but maybe with them being so well known already in like the U.S. and other regions, then it wouldn't be as hard. But I think that they're kind of late to the party.
Yeah. I mean, there's not much to this story, but I just think it's weird that it's been around, like, for a long time everywhere else. I just kind of figured it was there already.
Yeah.
Kind of, I don't know.
Yeah, it says here, too, that since, most of the music there is bought on CD, 80% of the 2.6 billion comes from CD revenue. So even if they do, become popular, unless they really change the market, they're still not going to be making a whole lot compared to what's, like in the US and other regions.
Well, I mean, I don't think they're going to change the market that much, because Apple Music and Line are already there. So, I mean, Spotify is similar to Apple Music. It's the same price. You can do most of the same things.
I mean, it's most music streaming apps are the same with like a different layout. It's the same concept.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So the next article is about Uber planes, pretty much. So for those of you who don't know what Uber is, it's basically an app kind of service where you can order a taxi, but instead of it being a taxi, it's just like an Uber kind of employee. Basically, the app, they have to be verified through Uber. I'm sure they have like background checks and all of that. But they basically choose whenever they want to work. So if they have like a couple hours of spare time, they want to make some money, they'll like let Uber know that they're available and all that. But now they're saying that they're designing a plane. It's not necessarily a plane. It's the vehicle that takes to the air. It's
So flying.
yeah, I don't know what they're called. They take off like a helicopter kind of. They take off vertically, and then their arms kind of rotate down and it flies like a plane. I don't remember what they're called.
It says DARPA.
DARPA are the people who are testing them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I thought that was it.
Yeah. So right now, like all the testing is being done by the military, DARPA. And it doesn't really say if it has a fixed timeline, but I think that would be pretty cool. And it's not like, for those of you wondering, why don't I just take a normal plane? It'd be more for like rural, like it wouldn't be for long range flights. It'd be like really short, kind of. I don't know how long. I would guess maybe, I don't know, 5 to 30 minutes, something around that range. Not as long as a plane ride, but it would cut the time off of a car ride by maybe an hour.
Yeah. Um, I think Uber is actually like hurting themselves with this and the self-driving car because the whole point of Uber was the people could make money off the app. But now they're releasing these self-driving cars that you can just get picked up in by the Uber app, and this I'm assuming this is self-driving plane or controlled by not someone that's just on their phone working for Uber. I mean, that was really like the whole basis of Uber. It was normal people could work as to earn some extra money and drive you around, and it was cheaper than a taxi. And I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's taking the employer part out of Uber, not necessarily the consumer part out of Uber.
Well, it's not like they're getting rid of the
Yeah,
car
but
portion of Uber.
I mean, even with the car portion, though, they have the self-driving cars out.
Are those released yet, though?
No, they're going to be released soon.
Yeah. I don't know. It's interesting to think that that is like an idea like that could be possible, but from a company standpoint, I guess. But they're going to be, I feel like they're going to be so expensive to like produce to where there would be enough of them and that they would be making money off of them.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's a cool idea.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't know how practical it is.
Okay, the next story is about Snapchat, which I'm pretty sure almost everyone knows about Snapchat. And then basically
Snapchat spectacles.
it's Snapchat's own take on Google Glass, basically. Snapchat spectacles. Like, I'm on Snapchat almost all the time. Like, yeah. And these are definitely a lot cheaper than the Google Glass. They're $130. They're coming soon, so they didn't really give a set timeline. But what it does is you can shoot 10-second videos, like just from your glasses.
I would assume that you can take pictures as
Yeah,
well.
pretty sure. So yeah, and it's got like a flashlight on it if you're in like a darker place or whatever, and everything. They seem like normal glasses. Other than that, I don't think the lenses themselves have.
Yeah, I don't
much
think
to
like the
them.
lenses are a touchscreen or anything. I think you're just able to probably through like a Bluetooth or something, sync it to your phone and go through that. But you might want to like pull up this article at home. They don't look good.
Yeah.
Like they're kind of like quirky. They really stick out. I mean, the black ones are maybe okay, but they just, I don't know.
Yeah, I should.
They don't
like,
seem very practical.
and that nose piece is really weird on it because it like curves in. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's like two spots where it'll hold your nose, but one's not even touching your nose.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think they're gonna do well.
Yeah, the company has even said that they are, how did they quote this? I don't know how they quoted it. But basically they're saying we're just going to produce a small amount and see how it goes, which that's kind of smart because I think it's going to have to take some really good marketing to get people to try these.
Yeah, these are like they're really thick too, and they're not like normal shaped lenses. They're like perfect circles.
Yeah. Oh, and I don't know if we mentioned already. I'm pretty sure they're sunglasses. They're not like
Alright.
actual glasses. They're very round. Yeah. And if they're not sunglasses, they're... Yeah, no, they'd have to be. They're painted, like, over the lens, but... I don't know. I think they're trying to copy the Google Glass in a way.
I don't know why you would copy such a disaster.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like this is worse because the only thing that you can do is take videos and pictures and post them on Snapchat. It doesn't say if you're able to, like, post them anywhere else, but...
I'm assuming it's gonna be Snapchat just
Basically,
because it's
a
marketed.
$130 camera that is built into your glasses that you can only upload to your phone on certain... I don't know. I don't think it's gonna go very far, but I mean, it's things like this that blow up.
Mm-hmm.
Hello?
Yeah.
I was just making sure you didn't time out like last time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I think that's about it for that. The next
Oh
article,
my god.
yeah, this is honestly, I don't agree with this at all. A lot of you, I would hope that all of you have heard of Fruit Ninja. For those of you, I think it's on iOS and Android. It's a mobile game. It was really big, probably 2012, 2013. Basically, it's a game where there's like fruit thrown in the air. You gotta slice it with your finger or whatever. They're making a movie about it.
I, I mean, I kind of see how they're gonna do it. They have like
Yeah,
characters, I guess. They're not really.
it's like Angry Birds. They made a movie and it turned out okay.
I
Like
I
it's
didn't see it.
I saw parts of it, but it like turned out like business wise it's okay. But basically for this, the whole storyline is that they're they have a team of misfits who are recruited to become fruit ninjas in order to save the world.
Is fruit going to attack the world?
Yeah, like
It's probably gonna be GMO. It's gonna be like one of those vegan like super vegan. No offense to vegans.
yeah, I don't know. I don't see it having a whole lot of potential, but they could completely ignore like the game aspect and just have like something to do with ninjas and fruit and like an apocalypse or something like I don't know. But I don't think it's really going to revolve around the game itself because it's such a simple game.
There's not enough
But
content
how
to it.
much doesn't say, but they had to buy the rights to make the movie.
Oh, I figured it was just like buy the, because it's probably gonna cause people to buy the game,
Yeah, I mean I can see that.
or
Yeah.
maybe like re-download it for people that didn't get it, or there's still like
Oh, the game's free.
yeah, but there's still like microtransactions.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't really see it going far, but I mean it's an interesting concept that this is happening from like mobile games, like movies made out of mobile games.
Uh huh.
I feel like they should be taking a bigger excuse me, to like console and PC games because of how much depth that they have. Like someone could make a whole movie revolving around like Grand Theft Auto 5. There's a lot of PC and console games that you can make a movie out of, and I feel like a lot of people would want to see that just because it's another aspect to something that they enjoy playing and watching.
Well, I mean that Assassin's Creed movie came out, and
Assassin's Creed movie.
yeah, I don't think it's out yet, but also they're making a Portal movie and they're making a Half-Life movie by J.J. Abrams, which I think is gonna be good.
Oh, I didn't know about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think it's if they can figure out a way to like creatively do this kind of thing, then it could be almost like kind of its own market. Like it would be. I feel like they could go far with that if they do it right.
Yeah.
With games in general, but I don't know.
Okay. The next story is about Battlefield 1. I know we talked about this last week, but we have news on the campaign ever since the trailer came out. And if you haven't seen that, you should go watch it. It's really good. So basically, their spin on the campaign, it's not going to be like a standard static campaign. There's an article out on their website talking about how there's going to be 5 different stories you can play through. One is a combat pilot, a German combat pilot that you can play through. His story is what they're calling it, war stories. So yeah, there's a German combat pilot, an Arab, like part of an Arab force. Rifles, yeah. So like a horseback rider, cavalry type person. And then third person is a British, like a tank controller person. I don't know, what are those called?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anchor, like
Yeah.
something like that.
And then.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's 2 other ones, but you get the gist of it.
Yeah.
It's gonna be the way I understand it is that it's like if any of you have played GTA 5, it's kind of like that campaign where I'm hoping it kind of all revolves around the same thing and they kind of like intertwine. But if not,
Well, it all revolves around World War One.
right? But I'm saying if they kind of like interact with each other in some way. Either way, I feel like the campaign would have to be very big then for them to get any development with 5 different characters or campaigns, whatever, you know.
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of positive feedback on the game.
Yeah,
Like,
I have never really bought a Battlefield game, and then I played the open beta for this, and I loved it. I think
I've bought every Battlefield game since Battlefield 2 was released.
it has a lot of potential.
There's only been one that I regret buying, and that was Battlefield Hardline. Oh, that game was so bad. Okay, so
But yeah, I don't think I don't see how it could really turn against them unless it's just not very well developed. But I think that'd be a cool concept to implement into other games, you know, multiple campaign routes.
yeah.
But yeah. Alright, so the next article is on Watch Dogs 2, and it just kind of goes into depth on what the game is going to be. So for those of you who don't know, Watch Dogs 1, the first one, it was kind of like a gloomy, kind of solo atmosphere, and Watch Dogs 2 kind of takes like a completely different turn. It's going to be more like, I don't know about happy, but it's going to be like a lighter game, a better atmosphere, and the character is like more outgoing, less secretive. I think it takes place in LA or something like that.
Pretty sure.
That's where they got their like ideas from. And then they're also saying about it's going to be more of like an open world. I don't think open world, but it's going to be more of an open experience. Like Watch Dogs 1, everything was kind of like structured.
When you play Watch Dogs 1, it's open world. Like, I'm assuming this is going to be open world.
Open world, but things like the missions and stuff were...
So, like GTA.
Yeah, kind of. I don't know if...
There's
this is
also an
gonna be the
online
same, but
aspect
they said...
to this, similar to GTA.
Is there?
Yeah. You can, like,
Yeah, I
mess
never
with
really
your
got
friends.
into it.
Like, you can, like, hack their cars while they're driving them and, like, run them into a wall.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's interesting that it's going from one, you know, dark thing to a really light thing. It's taking like a complete turn, but I think it can work out for them.
I mean, there's been a lot of positive feedback. I've seen gameplay from, like, conventions and stuff. It looks really good.
Yeah. I mean, it all depends on how they kind of like reintroduce it. I think that I don't know if they're going to be getting a lot of the same people who played Watch Dogs 1, like a sequel, like, you know, the Call of Duty franchise. It's a lot of the same people. I'm sure there will be a lot of the same people, but I think if they, you know, if they market it differently, they could reach a different audience. So I think that could really work out for them, but yeah. So I think that's it for this week.
Yeah, that's it for this week, guys. If you want to see the next week's news, come back next week on Thursday.
We'll normally try and stream. A lot of people probably won't watch it live, but we normally stream between like 3:30, 4:30 that time on Thursdays. So
So yeah.
see you guys then.